Hello, and it's Senior Mash talking rugby union, Christmas live rugby. What did we see? Lots. If you like what you're hearing, do like, subscribe, comment, give it the thumbs up. Substack, YouTube, Facebook. And what have I seen this week? 16th week. Well, first of all, during this Christmas period, women's rugby to the forefront. Premiership women's rugby, Gloucester Hartbury on top. Norwegian women looking for a coach. And what about this? Johnny Matthews being compared to Cristiano Ronaldo. Wow, wouldn't have expected that, but 2 tries to Johnny. And yes, go Glasgow. Great win over Edinburgh. And let's see how they go in the follow-up game. Really enjoyed social media and rugby this week. So what have I seen? Well, make sure we're looking after each other during this festive period. Loosehead's doing a great job. And do go and watch local rugby. As you can see, National League Rugby, all happening. Big thanks to BBC, who I got that quote from earlier. This week, I've been privileged to have been able to watch so much live rugby. So, what did that look like? Well, I had the choice of Sale and Sedgley Park or Preston Grasshoppers against Fylde. With wet and windy conditions, we made our way to Lightfoot Lane in Preston. The clubhouse was buzzing with life, and it was especially heartwarming to see tributes to some of the rugby greats. Wade Dooley, Alex and Pat Sanderson, and current England coach Steve Borthwick. Across the 2 lineouts, 4 players stood out: Sam Russell, Josh Longston, Pete Altham and Jordan Dorrington. In challenging conditions, Grasshoppers started brightly, stringing some rather silky smooth passing together, and Sam Russell, often known as a breaker of the line at centre, just showed how effective moving the ball through hands can be. As the game unfolded, it started to look more and more like the weather conditions could have an impact. Just look at this kick from the halfway line. Whoa, is that the corner flag? Oh, difficult for the hookers to throw in at the line out. Fylde began to start to dominate and started to assert some quite considerable pressure, running hard at the defence. But it was good to see Josh Longston and Sam Russell combining to nullify the Fylde backs. But very soon we started to see more and more pressure from Fylde, and with that pressure we started to see the scoreboard tick over. Good play by Preston in defence, but the pressure ultimately too much. But to be fair to Grasshoppers, they did have a couple of chances before this try through the centre, and this try at the far side underneath the Kirkham Grammar School logo. And let's face it, there's a lot of Kirkham Grammar School logos around the pitch. Good sponsorship. Scrimmaging, I was rather impressed by Preston Grasshoppers. I thought their front row was very nuggety, very powerful, got into some good body positions and constantly created pressure on the Fylde scrum. And that was somewhat of a surprise, to be honest. I'd expected Fylde to dominate in that scrum. But well done, Grasshoppers. Again, Sam Russell showing some excellent passing skills. A great crowd despite the weather, and boy did it start to pile down the rain at various times during the game. As dark descended, the floodlights lit up the ground, and as you can see, the rain continued to pour down. Both teams continued spirited attacks. Here we see Fylde taking the ball coast to coast, and that was a pretty effective tactic that Preston Grasshoppers had employed in the first half, and Fylde seemed to use more in the second half. So, a Christmas derby in National League Rugby. 12 played 38 was the final result. Well done both teams. Thoroughly enjoyed my day out, even if I did get a little bit wet. And congratulations to National League Rugby for doing these Christmas derbies. Rugby certainly does have its stars, and you can see that from the stats, you can see that from games that are played around the world. I then look at my 2018 memories. Ben Foden, Freddie Clark, alongside Chris Hill of Talking Rugby Union, Danny Cipriani, again with Chris Hill, 2018, down at Gloucester. And I had the pleasure to go to Dublin, and as I've done before, really impressed by the Irish women's dedication to the cause. Games played on 4G and on grass surfaces. Max Scoffich of Talking Rugby Union headed down to Monaco for the World Rugby Awards. There you can see him. And Max Ashcroft headed to the Philippines for games with the Penguins. So good experiences for the guys at Talking Rugby Union, who also sponsored an award-winning ladies team at Sevens, and also other teams around the Sevens circuit, taking the win here at Chester. And as you can see, varying conditions at Sedge throughout 2018. Thanks to Talking Rugby Union, National League Rugby for all their support in putting this together. Hope to speak to you again in 2025. Thanks.